Hey friend, it's Zoe, and today we're gonna go to a very colorful journey together because I've got 3 different sets of Ohuhu Acrylic paint markers sitting right here on my desk. And let me tell you, they may all say acrylic markers on the label, but they each behave so differently. So I'm gonna show you exactly what makes each set special, how they work, how to play with them, and most importantly, which one I think you should buy depending on what kind of art you like to make. And of course, I'm gonna turn it into a painting section. We'll be doing a full little illustration together. I'm thinking a cute dog surrounded by flowers. So if you ever been curious about these markers, or maybe you've been eyeing on them online, stick around because this is gonna be a really fun and colorful deep dive. Before we jump in, I want to say thank you to Ohuhu for sponsoring the video today. This month they are running back to school program where the more you buy, the bigger discount you get. And make sure to visit ohuhu.com to download some free coloring pages to get the creative vibe flowing. Okay, let's start with the first set here. I got the direct liquid brush tip set. This set including 24 colors. This one feels very different right away because the tips is soft. It's flexible brush, direct liquid inside, not stored in the cotton. The strokes are smooth, painterly, and you can get a beautiful variation from thick to thin just by changing your pressure. So these are amazing for expressive artwork, calligraphy, and blending color together while they are still wet. So far this is one of my favorite brush set that I got. Also another reason why I love this set because the colors are very vibrant and opaque and the coverage is perfect. So it makes me feel like I am working with oil painting or gouache painting with this brush set. The second one here is the 48 pen set. If you follow me for a while, you know that I use this set a lot. So you might kind of familiar with this set. So we have 24 fine tip markers and 24 round tip markers in this canvas bag. Looks very beautiful and very sturdy. The fine tip are great for precise details, outlines, lettering, anything like that. Need a steady hand. The round tip or the bullet tip is perfect for coloring in shapes, making bold strokes, or even doing a bit of dotting for decorative effects. These are very classic cotton core acrylic paints. So before you start, you have to shake them. Then you press the nib down on the scrap paper to get the paint flowing. And once they are doing, the coverage is bright, smooth, and surprisingly opaque. These guys are perfect that when you take them off the paper and onto a different surface. So I got the question about which brush set that you should get between the 48 paints and the 24 colors brush tip. The answer it depends on which surface you're usually working on. To me, I work on the paper, so I prefer the brush tips. But if you want to work on hard surface like rocks or wood, you might want to get the 48 color cotton core tips because you might end up damages the nibs if you use a brush tip for the surface. And finally, the star of the show today, the cotton core dual tip set. This set including 36 colors. So I am excited to try them out because I want to create a painting with more colors than 24 colors. I also got this from ohuhu.com and I can wait to unbox, swatch them out, and review about the new acrylic marker that I got today. So these have a brush tip on one end and a fine tip on the other, all the same marker. For me, this is great because I can do big, sweeping strokes or tiny detail work without ever switching pens. Okay, let's start swatching. I choose to swatch on my sketchbook instead of on swatching card because I want to understand how the marker works on the surface. And during the swatching, I kind of noticed that the paint flow very smoothly and really no streaky at all. The coverage seems very good, but I kind of noticed some colors are quite transparent. The consistency is look like the water paint instead of acrylic paint, but good thing is it doesn't bleed through. I think with this color range of blue, green, and earthy tones is perfect for landscape painting. Maybe next video I will do a landscape study or a mini landscape painting for you all. Okay, now we start to paint. I've got my sketchbook here and I'm starting with a very light pencil outline of a cute dog surrounded by hydrangeas. I'm going to use the 36 color dual tip set for this because I want that flexibility between big strokes and fine lines. For the color scheme on the dog, I usually start with a warm light yellow for the highlights and then the blue cool tone for the shadow. Then I quickly blend these colors together with the white. Usually I start with the light color first, use the white marker to blend them perfectly, and then slightly move to the dark color later. And when I observed the reference photos, I noticed that the ducks has a lot of values happening on their body. But here I'm gonna try to group all the same values together into a big block. And then from that big shape, I'm gonna start to break it down into a smaller detail later. So you can see that I'm choosing cool tone for shadows is because I know that later I'm gonna paint the flowers and hydrangeas has pink or purple or blue, so those colors gonna reflect it on your objects, and that's why I choose most cool tone for the shadow. Also I want to balance the colors, so that's why I pick the warm tone for the highlights. So when you look at it, we know that this is a white duck, but the way I do the colors, I want the duck look more interesting and more colorful than just a pure block of white color. The orange peak and the feet really pop against the yellow, and because these are acrylic, the colors stay opaque even when I layer over them. For the hydrangeas flowers, it's actually simpler than you think. Here I just use the very light pink and start to create like a blob shape. Then you pick the darker values to start to block the shadow. The shape a hydrangea flower is basically like a sphere. The way you render the flower is exactly how you render a sphere. Here in my painting, the light source has come from the right side, so we all know that everything on the right will be lighter than everything on the left. I also gonna paint some main flowers as a focal point, and the rest of the flowers stay behind in the background will not be very detailed like the one in the front. You just want to loosen them up by maybe using one or two values for them, and that's it. Here I just use the darkest blue to fill up entire background. And then I use acrylic paint to make some final detail on the flowers. We just need to create the highlights on the flowers that nearby the ducks, and everything stay behind on the background. We just try to loosen it up. Here I want my white duck more pop out, so I use colored pencil to create a darker background. I actually can do this step with acrylic marker by mixing green and black together, but I choose colored pencil and hatching technique to create a little bit texture on the background to make everything looks less boring. I don't know, but sometimes mixing medium together is create a very interesting piece of art. Here I use the white acrylic marker paint to bring back some highlight section. And then I'm gonna use a filbert brush to quickly blend them out. And then some final touch on the painting, and we basically done with the duck today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any question about acrylic or acrylic marker painting, please let me know in the comments. I will try to answer you all in the next video. Bye.